Welcome to another in the series regarding Messianic Expectations in Acts 17. This is a 12-part series where we look at Messianic expectations in Old Testament passages, in intertestamental passages in the Psalms of Solomon, first to Enoch, and in the hearts and minds of people who lived in the first century, Samaritans, Pharisees, Essenes, and in Philo of Alexandria. Now, Philo of Alexandria was a philosopher, a Jewish philosopher, who was an apologist, but he didn't speak of Messiah. Why not? When in the midst of Alexandria, there were a tremendous number of people excited, even raging for the hope of the Messiah. Well, let's begin next with the Messianic expectations in the Psalms of Solomon, in Intertestamental. It was written between 60 and 30 BCE, and the theme is God's justice demonstrated in the rescue of Jerusalem from Pompey. Pompey is a representative of the gentile nations, and God rescues Jerusalem from the wicked sinners among the Jewish people who have helped. Now, who was Pompey? Pompey lived from 106 to 48 BCE, and he was a Roman general of the late Roman Republic. First Julius Caesar was associated with him, and then he was an opponent. Pompey, as a Roman general, annexed Syria, living in Judea, a dependent temple state, in 62 to 63 BC. And if you would like more details, see the Jewish history video for the historical video information. Now, the Song of Solomon expands on the theme and form found in Psalm 120. So let me first talk about the Psalms of Solomon structure, and then look back at Psalm 120. Now, there is a concentric structure in the Song of Solomon. There is a center psalm which deals with the topic, the rescue of Israel from Babylonian exile and the rescue from Pompey. There is an application of the Exodus 34 work, and there is a covenant theology of the Torah. The beginning of this, not the center, but the beginning is Psalm 1, which is a lament. And the end Psalm, Solomon 8, chapter 18, is a psalm of praise. So you really need to sort of see that it's sort of a cycle. Now, Psalm 12 is a variant of Psalm 120, and Psalm 17 contains the Messianic promises. So let's take a look at that. That Psalm 17 is a variant of 120, and Psalm 17 contains the Messianic prophecies. So let's go ahead and look at Psalm 120. It's a song of the ascent. These were psalms that reportedly were used as people climbed the hill to Mount Zion. Now, I've been there. You go from the valley up to the hill, and people will sing as they went up. In my trouble, I called to the Lord, and again in Hebrew, it's Yahweh, and he answered me. Deliver my soul, O Lord, again Yahweh, from the lying tongues, from deceit. What shall be given to you? What more shall be done to you, O deceitful tongue? Notice the parallelism. Sharp arrows of the war, burning coals of the bounty. Notice the parallelism. Woe is me, for I sojourn in Meshes, and I dwell in the tents of Kedar, far away. Too long as my soul had its dwelling with those who hate peace. I am for peace, but when I speak, they are for war. This would be natural to a Jew in the diaspora. So let's look at Psalm 17. Behold, O Lord, and that's kupte in Greek. Raised up their king, the son of David, at the time you choose, God, that he may reign over Israel, thy servant, and gird him with strength, that he may shatter unrighteous rulers. Again, Israel had unrighteous rulers in Pompey, in Roman venal governors coming down, or in the kings who were unrighteous, who took money for a bribe, who looked for the money they could have and spend, that he may purge Jerusalem from the nations and trample her down to destruction. Wisely he will thrust sinners out from the inheritance. He shall destroy the pride of the sinner as a potter's vessel. With a rod of iron he shall break all their substance. He will destroy the godless nations with the word of the mouth. Again, reflect back on Revelations as you hear Jesus as the word of the mouth. Now, this is reiterating the messages of Psalm 2, 20, 89, and 110 regarding the Messiah. The Messiah shall be a descendant of David, the king who reigned over Israel, and he shall purge the nations. So keep looking for these echoes of these sort of words which are intertestamental and near and dear. And there shall be no righteousness in their midst, for they to be holy, and their king, the anointed of the Lord. Basileus uton Christus Kyriou. Notice, anointed of the Lord. This is a messianic call. And this will be the majesty of the king of Israel, the Messianic, whom God knoweth. He will raise him up over the house of Israel to correct him. His words shall be more refined than costly gold. The choicest, the assemblies, he will judge the people, the tribes of the sanctified. His words shall be like the ones of the holy ones in the midst of the peoples. Blessed are they that there shall be in the days. They shall see the good fortune of Israel, which God shall bring with the gathering of the tribes. May the Lord hasten his mystery. May he deliver us from unclean liver. The Lord himself is our King forever and ever. This is a clear statement that you're going to come back to Israel, that we're not going to be in the middle of the diaspora, where we're denigrated, where we're a minority culture, where we're having problems. This would call to the Jews of the diaspora. It would call to the Jews in Israel. By the way, the Jews in the diaspora were in Alexandria. They were in Rome. They were in Antioch. And they were in Babylon. Those were the large centers. But across the rest of the Roman Empire, they were in all the villages where they had trade. And each place, they were really a minority culture, struggling to keep their faithfulness to God and to keep their state and stability. Well, next, we're going to look at the Messianic Expectations in 1 Enoch, which Jesus quotes. Thank you again for listening to the Messianic Expectations, and we will continue with Part 8.